The biological classification is defined as a process of giving hierarchy of categories by scientific procedure based on features of organisms and arranging them into different groups. The need of the biological classification is to study and include each organism along with its identification and habitat, and to establish the relationship among different organisms and to know about their evolution. Adolf Engler and Karl A. E. Prandtl of Germany published an evolutionary system in their monograph Die Natürlichen Pflanzen Familien. Their classification is based on evolutionary sequence as well as genetic relationships among different groups of plants. In addition to this, it employs as many taxonomic characters as possible. Charles Darwin's concept of origin of species had given enough stimuli for the creation of evolutionary system of classification. Engler and Prandtl made attempts to rectify the shortcomings of Engler and Bentham and Hooker's classification. In this system, the flowering plants were supposed to have originated along two independent lines from unknown wind-pollinated gymnosperms. One line led to the most primitive dicots, the Amentiferae, a group of wind-pollinated plants with small apetalous flowers in unisexual inflorescence called aments or catkins. The other line led to the most primitive modern monocots, the Campnaulales. Thus, they proposed a polyphyletic origin of angiosperms. The evolutionary trends as suggested by Engler and Prandtl are as under. First, apetalous to polypetalous to sympetalae, actinomorphic to zygomorphic, unisexual to bisexual, hypogynous to epigynous. The significant feature of their system is that they placed Monocotyledons before Dicotyledons, considered the orchids to be more highly advanced than the grasses. The apetalous and catkin-bearing Dicotyledons as primitive to the flowers which bear petals and simple unisexual flowers. The views are, however, not acceptable to most of the recent phylogeneticists. The unification of the polypetalae and apetalae, recognized as separate by Bentham and Hooker, was certainly a forward step. Most of the prominent herbaria of the world are arranged according to this system. In this system, the families were arranged as per the increasing complexity of the flower, fruit, and seed development. This system is based on Engler's system, who was the first person to propose evolutionary system of classification. It is an evolutionary system proposed subsequent to the acceptance of Darwin's theory of evolution, based on the assumption that the flowering plants where perianth is absent are evolutionary primitive. The gymnosperms are considered to be more primitive and hence were placed before angiosperms. The monocotyledons precede the dicotyledons, an idea which gets little support from recent work on fossil data. They never thought that the former group is derived from the later. The class Dicotyledoni was divided into two subclasses, namely Archichlamydeae and Metachlamydeae or Sympetalae. Flowers without perianth, that is ecchlamydous, are those with one whorl of perianth, that is Monocotyledons, were considered to be primitive, and those with two whorled perianth, distinguished into sepals and petals, as advanced. Unisexual flowers were considered to be more primitive than bisexual ones. The clasogamy was considered to be more primitive character. The epigynous condition is more advanced than hypogynous condition. Apocarpy is regarded as a primitive feature and syncarpy as an advanced feature. The evolution of angiosperms is regarded as polyphyletic. The families such as Cucurbitaceae, Salicaceae, Bitulaceae, Fagaceae, etc., with naked unisexual flowers, and Syncarpus gynoecea are placed before families such as Magnoliaceae and Ranunculaceae. Polypetalae and Monocotyledons were unified under the single group, that is Archichlamydeae, while Metachlamydeae include those families with Sympetalae corollas. Flowering plants were divided comparatively in large groups on the basis of few characters, and several allied families were separated. The Monocotyledons start with the Campnaulales, which include those families devoid of or with a very imperfect perianth. The Campnaulales are now considered a very advanced group. The Monocotyledons end with the Orchidaceae, a family highly advanced but certainly not advanced over grasses, that is Gramineae. Monocotyledons is completely abolished as such, and families are distributed in the large series called Archichlamydeae. The Engler and parental system dominates over all the previous natural systems of classification, but certainly is based on these systems. It is based on the increasing complexity of plant parts, particularly essential whorls of flowers. Gamopetalous condition considered more advanced than the polypetalous condition. Indefinite number of stamens and carpels are primitive to a definite number of stamens and carpels. Monocotyledons have been classified into 11 orders and 45 families, whereas Dicotyledons classified into 44 orders and 261 families. In the Monocotyledons as well as Dicotyledons, they placed families with unisexual, perianth-less, wind-pollinated flowers in the beginning, and those with bisexual, dichlamydeous, insect-pollinated flowers as an advanced position. Thus, the angiosperms are arranged in an ascending series according to the increased complexity and elaboration of flowers, although the system is not evolutionary in the strict sense. The Monocotyledons includes 11 orders which have naked unisexual flowers. The typefacy of Campnaulales is considered to be more primitive. The family Orchidaceae is considered to be more advanced one, and it is placed at the end of the classification in the order Microspermae. The order Glumiflorae, which includes Gramineae, is the fourth order, and due recognition is not given to its advanced characters. The class Dicotyledons is divided into two subclasses, that is Archichlamydeae and Metachlamydeae. In the Archichlamydeae, the first families are Actinomorphic or Monocotyledons, and the later ones are Dichlamydeous and Polypetales. The first orders of Archichlamydeae are verticillate, Piperales, Hydrostaceales, Salicales, Garrulales, etc., which have naked unisexual wind-pollinated flowers in catkins or aments. These families with aments of wind-pollinated flowers are referred to as homogeneous group called Amentiferae. The Actinomorphic families are followed by the Monocotyledons ones. The Centrospermae is the last order having families with one whorl of perianth. The Cucurbitaceae included within Verticillate is considered to be primitive on account of clasogamy. The dichlamydeous polypetalous families start with renales, in which the flowers are spirocyclic or cyclic and hypogynous. The apocarpy is recognized to be primitive. The polypetalous orders end with the myrtiflorae and umbelliflorae, which have epigynous flowers. The Sympetalae includes gamopetalous families. It commences with Ericales, Primulales, etc. The orders Cantotae and Tubiflorae include families that were recognized under Bicarpellateae by Bentham and Hooker system and are hypogynous. The Rubiales having Rubiaceae, Cucurbitales with Cucurbitaceae and Campnaulales with Compositae are placed at the end. These three orders are placed at the end as they have epigynous families. And the Cucurbitaceae, which was placed in the polypetalae by Bentham and Hooker, is placed in Sympetalae on account of its gamopetalous corolla overlooking its relationship with Passifloraceae. The placing of Compositae at the end of Sympetalae is justified on account of several advanced features such as the presence of a capitulum, zygomorphy of ray florets, unisexuality of ray florets, adaptation of pollination, and excellent means of dispersal of its fruits. Engler and Prentl included the keys and description of all known genera of plants from algae to angiosperms. Their system of classification is based on the trends of evolution in existing families. In this system, plant kingdom is divided into 14 divisions. These are Schizophyta, Mixothelophyta, Flagellate, Dinoflagellate, Bacillariophyta, Conjugate, Heteroconti, Chlorophyceae, Charophyta, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyta, Eumycetes, Archichlamydeae, and the last one, Embryophyta, are seed plants. The division Embryophyta is subdivided into two subdivisions, the Gymnospermae and Angiospermae. The subdivision Angiospermae is further divided as follows. Subdivision Angiospermae. The subdivision Angiospermae is based on the characters that ovules are enclosed in the ovary and tracheae or true vessels are present. It is divided into two classes, Monocotyledons and Dicotyledons. First, the Monocotyledons. This class is characterized by a single cotyledon. The leaves are with parallel venation, flowers trimerous, stem with closed vascular bundles. It includes 11 orders and 45 families. The 11 orders are Pandanales, Halobi, Triuridales, Glumiflorae, Pricepus, Cyananthe, Sympetalae, Farinosae, Liliflorae, Cytimini, and Microspermae. Now the class Dicotyledons. This class is characterized by two cotyledons, leaves with reticulate venation, flowers tetramerous or pentamerous, stem with open vascular bundles. It is divided into two subclasses. First, the Archichlamydeae and second, Metachlamydeae. First, the Archichlamydeae. Petals always free. The subclass Archichlamydeae include 33 orders. These are Verticillate, Piperales, Hydrostaceales, Salicales, Garrulales, Myricales, Blenopsidales, Latneriales, Juglendales, Batidales, Julianales, Fagales, Urticales, Podastimonales, Proteales, Centales, Aristolochiales, Blenophorales, Polygonales, Centrospermae, Magnoliales, Roidales, Sarraceniales, Rosales, Pendales, Geraniales, Sependales, Rhamnales, Malvales, Perianth-less, then Opentiales, Myrtiflorae, and Umbelliflorae. Subclass Metachlamydeae. Petals always fused. The subclass Metachlamydeae include 11 orders. These are Diapensiales, Ericales, Primulales, Plumbaginales, Ibinales, Cantoti, Tubiflorae, Plantaginales, Rubiales, Cucurbitales, and Campnaulales. The large artificial group of Bentham and Hooker system, the Monocotyledons, has been completely abolished and its families have been distributed among the related forms with free petals in Archichlamydeae series. Number second, subclass Sympetalae corresponds to the Gamopetalae of Bentham and Hooker system. The orchids were considered highly evolved than the grasses. Then gymnosperms are treated separately. Now the demerits of Engler and parental system of classification. First, monocots have been considered to be more primitive than dicots, which does not correspond to the present day evidence. Number second, derivation of parietal placentation from axial placentation. Number third, derivation of dichlamydeous flowers, that is perianth-2 series, from monocotyledons ones, that is perianth single series, is objectionable. Number fourth, derivation of entomophily from anemophily.